Hello everyone, welcome to English Morphology and Syntax. This is your last chapter and I hope you already watched it before our class this week. So we are going to go through chapter 11, Syntactic Analysis. So the first one is the basic concepts. In the basic concept, we are going to talk about what are we going to do in this chapter. So basically, in this chapter, we are going to study about the generative grammar. The generative grammar is one of the theory in syntax fields. So basically, when we talk about generative grammar or syntactic analysis, you can think of these as the rules that is like the command lines in a computer program. When we do the syntactic analysis, it is like when you do the analysis step by step and like you do the analysis on how to put the words together into a sentence. So it like you generate the rules of the sentence in the language. Okay, so basically, once again, generative grammar is like you generate the order or the rules, how you organize the words. So when we talk about like the generate of the order or the rule, another terms that we cannot skip, it is the constructions. So whenever we talk about the constructions are unit of syntax. Basically, we can say construction is just structure. So for example, in the sentence, Jane sits here, actually the whole sentence is one construction, which is a sentence as well. However, under or inside this construction, this sentence, we have the small construction like noun or verb here. So noun is one construction and verb is another construction that we combine together to have the bigger construction like Jane sits, which is a sentence. Or the monk is praying. So the monk is playing, we have the bigger construction like the sentence, and if we have a look into detail, we have like the smaller construction like noun phrase and verb phrase, and inside the noun phrase we have two smallest construction like determiner, the, and noun monk. And in the verb phrase construction, we have like the smaller construction like auxiliary is and playing, the verb, the main verb. Okay, so basically construction is just the structure. And when we said about the construction or the sequence of the word, the order of the word, we can separate the order of the word into two types, which are the first one, linear order, and the second one, hierarchical order. So let's have a look at this sentence. The sentence, the student loved his syntax assignment. So when we talk about the linear order, one way to describe the sentence is that we can describe by using a linear string of words. So we can say that this sentence is organized in the linear way. Like we have the, at the first we have student, follow that we have the word loved, and then it followed by the word his and the word syntax and the word assignment. Okay, so this is what we call linear order. This is what we call linear order. We have a look just like what kind of structure, what kind of construction follow another construction. This is how we analyze in the linear string of words. However, if we have a look at this sentence, like the student loved his phonology readings and the student hated his morphology professor, as you can see, we have the same subject, the student. However, what follow it make this kind of structure different. Like we have different verb, loved and hate, and we have different meaning like this. So as you can see, if we focus on just the structure, the student here, if we use the linear order, the student will be just the, and then it followed by student, which is not the case because when we analyze by using linear order, it cannot capture the fact that some part of the sentence are treated bigger than other part. like the part of the student, it cannot be compared with the part of his morphology professor or his phonology readings, because like different part of the sentence, we have different like the sides of the structure. So let me show you here. So this is what we analyze by using hierarchical order. So it will show you the hierarchy. So in the sentence, the student loved his syntax assignment, you will see that the structure, his syntax assignment, is a smallest structure before it attached with the verb loved to be the verb phrase. The verb phrase here, verb plus noun phrase, love his syntax assignment, and before it is attached with the noun phrase and verb phrase together in order to be the sentence. So this is what we analyze by hierarchical order. And by doing the hierarchical order, we can capture the organization, the structure, and the like what kind of structure, what kind of construction modify other construction. So this is what we do by hierarchical order. And by talking about hierarchical order, it leads us to the tree diagrams. So the tree diagram is one way to analyze the sentence by using the hierarchical order. Okay, so tree diagram is the way that you analyze the phrases, clauses, or even sentences in the tree-like chart. So it illustrates the relationship of each construction or particular construction in the hierarchical order. So let me show you what you have learned in the Introduction to Language and Linguistics. Please be noted that this is just a reminder. The theory that we are going to study in this class is different from this. Okay, so once again, this is just to remind you the theory that we're going to study in this class is different from this, and I will talk about it soon. Okay, so first of all, in the previous class, I hope you already, we all already study about how to draw the tree diagram. So earlier in that class, in the Introduction to Linguistics, Language and Linguistics, what kind of tree diagram that you have learned, it's just the phrase structure rules, or somehow we can call it the flat structure. So there are plenty of examples in your book. Okay, so on the phrase structure rules or the flat structure, it is what we analyze the sentence by using just the surface structure. Like here, we have the big book of poems with the blue covers. So we divide it into 5 branches. The first one, determiner. The second one, adjective, big, and noun, book, and prepositional phrase, and another prepositional phrase. So this is what we call flat structure, a basic tree diagram, a tree-like chart. However, you will see that all poems and with the blue covers are in the same level, same hierarchical order. What's the problem here? The problem here is that, as you can see, a poem, it is a structure that directly modifies book. So by analyzing by using flat structure, we kind of skip the fact that a poem is the first structure that modifies our hate book. Because if we use the flat structure, as you can see here, all structure or constructions are placed at the same level. So this is a problem. So let me introduce you this one. We call it X-bar theory. It is a theory that we are going to use in this class. So as you can see, in this case, when we analyze a poem, it is a structure that on the same level with our hate book. And once we have book or poems, we have the whole noun phrase, in bar, to be attached with the prepositional phrase with the blue covers. So it means that with the blue cover is the adjunct, is the additional information that we just add to our noun phrase, book of poems. So by doing this in the X-bar theory, we show the new hierarchical order in the sentence or in our noun phrase. I know it looks complicated, but please keep through this. It will be easier later. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned before, it is the X bar theory. Okay, so the name of X bar theory comes from the original mechanism that we use in the mathematics. So X can be substituted with any structure. If it is noun phrase, it can be N bar. So yeah, X is just the variable that stands for any lexical category, noun, adjective, verb, or preposition. So the structure, it's organized like this. So the first one, we have the phrase level, XP. So if it is a noun phrase, so we have NP. So lower that, we have N bar. So like this one, we call it bar, N bar. And then we have just N, just now. Okay, so let me show you here, like what kind of structure we call what. So in the X bar theory, the bigger structure, we call it like the phrase structure, right? So it is the XP, or we can call it like NP. So under the NP, we can have the specifier and another X bar, and like under the X bar, we have rule number 2. So in rule number 2, it consists of X bar and the optional adjunct here. And in rule number 3, under the X bar number 2 here, it consists of X here, and we have the complement. Okay, so it's gonna arrange in the order like this. So the smallest order, we have X can be noun and complement, and the bigger construction, we have X bar and adjunct, and more bigger construction, we have the specifier and X bar. So keep in your mind that now we have 3 different terms: specifier, adjunct, and complement. Okay, so let's find out what are specifier, adjunct, and complement. Let's start by the complement first. I hope that by now, by studying syntax, you kind of like familiar with the term complement. Okay, so in the X bar theory, the term of complement, it refers to like for example here, we have the noun phrase, the book of poems with the glossy cover. So the head of this noun phrase, the book of poems with the glossy cover. So it linked to noun phrase, the chapter of noun phrase that we have studied before. So if I ask you to find the head noun of this noun phrase, the book of poems with the glossy cover, so the head noun is poems. Sorry, the head noun is book. Sorry, the head noun is book. Once again, the head noun is book. So the head noun is here. Okay, and if we turn back, as you can see, follow the head, it must be the complement. The complement is next to the head. So if we come back to the book of poems, definitely a poem is our complement. Okay, so complement, it is like the object, like it is an object in traditional grammar. So it means that it's not any other book, but it is a book of poem. It's a thing that directly modify our head noun, book. So in this case, of poem here, it is a sister to the head. When I mean the sister to a head, it means that the prepositional phrase of poem will be arranged in the same level of our head book, as you can see here. So it's different from with the glossy cover, which is like higher than that. So what can be what with the glossy cover is, with the glossy cover, we call it with the glossy cover here, we call it adjunct. So adjunct will be the sister of the bar level. As you can see here, we have like another symbol, spatial symbol. Here we call it bar level, and our head is just like now. Okay, so here it's just the complement, and here in the prepositional phrase, the second one with the glossy cover, is just the adjunct. which will be placed on the same level with the sister to a bar level, to be a sister of the bar level here, the same level. As you can see, different level from our head. So what is the adjunct? Adjunct, like what you familiar. Adjunct is the structure that can be omitted. It's just the adverbial and it typically optional additional information. It's just like additional information. So for example, if we cut off poem out, it can be like any other book. So our poem is kind of like the complement. It's required by our head. But with the glossy cover, it's fine if we have like if we don't have with the glossy cover, it still be the book of poems anywhere. So with glossy cover, it's kind of like adjunct. It is the optional additional information. Okay. And next, specifier. In the specifier, I would like you to think about the determiner, because the specifier are different from adjunct and complement. It is not recursive. It means that it cannot be at the back of our head. The specifier is here, like the determiner. So it will attach once it will be attached like at like the later one. So you in English you can have only one specifier. Like in this case, the specifier is the here. So it will be attached later after you get the whole thing, like book or poem with the glossy cover. Okay, and it will be just only one. Okay, so we cannot have the case like these red book is like ungrammatical. Okay, so we cannot have like there and these together. Okay, so once we kind of like have the clear idea what the specifier is, what the adjunct is, and what the complement is, next let me tell you how to draw the tree diagram in X-bar theory. It's quite different from the phrase structure rules that you have learned. Okay, so I have like 4 simple steps. First of all, you need to identify the part of speech of the structure that you have. So first, identify the structure that you have, and then identify the part of speech in the small construction under the big construction that you analyze. And second, identify an adjunct, complement, and specifier. The third one, attach the complement, and the fourth, attach the adjuncts. And yeah, definitely the later one, you attach the specifier. So let's get started by the end bar or noun phrase here. So let's get started from like the very simple end bar. Definitely in your exam it won't be that simple, as you may notice. So yeah, the first one, you identify the part of speech. So here we have a car. So A is the determiner. D stand for determiner. So in this case, we won't like write it as the ET anymore. Okay, and car is N. So in the X bar theory, when you have N, bigger than N is N bar. Please remember we have N bar first, and then bigger than N bar, definitely we have NP. So that's it. And determiner, it is the specifier which will be attached at the last one. So once we have all the whole thing here in N bar and NP, we attach determiner at the end. So here we go, we have the X bar theory, the tree diagram in X bar theory for the N bar level car. So let's switch to more difficult, a car with bad air conditioning. So as the same, I write a car with bad air conditioning. Air conditioning is the compound, so I'm gonna group it as just one word. Okay, air conditioning, and then analyze the part of speech. A is determiner, car is N, with is preposition P, bad is adjective, and air conditioning is just noun. So I'm going to start from our noun first, and then we have N bar. and yeah, we cannot have just that because we have bad that modify air conditioning. So yeah, definitely we can start from like the adjective into adj bar to be on the same level with n bar here. Okay, and then adj bar, and that's it. We don't have anything to modify our adjective phrase here, so I'm gonna stop at adjp here to match it with okay, n bar here. And then we have like bad air conditioning, which is our np, and in our np here we can match it with up to be like the p bar, and in p bar here, oh god, how can I make it? Okay, and in p bar here we have pp, prepositional phrase, and in n bar, in here we have n bar, and match it with pp to be n bar here. Okay, and okay, I have to rewrite again. Okay, let's rewrite it. Okay, it's gonna be like 2 4 car with bad air conditioning. Okay, once again we have now A, D, J, P, N, and the determiner. And okay, we go to, okay, let's start from ADJ first this time. ADJ, ADJ bar, and ADJP. And in N we have N bar to match with N ADJP to be like the second N bar. And then in the SN bar we have NP to match it with this one to be P bar with bad air conditioning, and nothing modify P bar here, so we have PP, prepositional phrase. And here we come to car, we have N bar and car with bad air conditioning. So we have in another n bar here before we have, since we still have to have the n bar, since we have like d here to still to attach to it. So in the we attach to this n bar to be np at the end. So we're going to write np or xp when we are going to write xp when like there is nothing to like modify our heat anymore. We're going to write xp. Okay, I know you're still like confused a little bit. Let's have a look at the more structure, like a plastic statue of the queen on his dashboard. So we have a plastic statue of the queen on his dashboard. Once again, identify the part of speech first. Is the plastic, is plastic here is the noun, and statue is also the noun. Of is the P here, the is the, queen is N, on is P, his is the determiner, and dashboard is N. Okay, so we have a plastic statue of his dashboard. So the head is statue, right? And we have on the of the queen as the complement, and we have on his dashboard is the adjunct plastic, and plastic is the adjunct as well, but it is the specifier, so it's gonna be the last one to attach. So let's get started by our complement of the queen first. So of the queen, N here we have N bar, and then in this N bar we can end it with NP since nothing modify the queen anymore. And then in this NP, the queen, we can have of which modify it of the queen to be p bar. It's still to be p bar, and then since we don't have anything to modify of the queen anymore, so we have pp, and this pp attached to be the complement of the head now stage 2, okay, to be n bar. And in this a bar stage 2 of the queen, we have the plastic here to modify plastic statue of the queen. So in this n we have n bar and then np, and it attached with our n bar here to be another n bar. Okay, so plastic statue of the queen, it will be attached with on his dashboard. So dashboard, we have n bar, and then we have determiner here to be np, and in this np we attach it with preposition on to be p bar, and in p bar we have pp. So we're going to attach noun phrase n bar plastic statue of the queen with the prepositional phrase on his dashboard. We are going to attach them together, okay, to be another n bar. We cannot have in noun phrase yet because we haven't finished to attach it with the determiner here. So we are going to attach the determiner, which is a specifier, which will be attached at the end to be np, and this np attached with the n bar. Oops. Attached with the n bar here. Okay. And that's it for a plastic statue of the queen on his dashboard. Okay. And next, the former director of intelligence in the US Navy. So it is also the noun phrase. So the former director. So, on the former director of intelligence in the US Navy, this is quite similar to the plastic statue of the queen on his dashboard. So, let's save this to do in our class to check whether you really understand it. So, next we move to our V-bar, the verb phrase. So, in V-bar, actually we analyze quite similar. So, we have just to think about what can be our hate. For example, in this word phrase, love chocolate covered sausage, our hate is love, right? And we have our complement. So in this case, we have only one complement, chocolate covered sausages. We don't have any adjuncts here. So when we have like loves, okay, I have to write like very low down here, loves chocolate covered sausages. Okay, so we analyze the part of speech. Loves is verb, chocolate cover, it is the compound word, so it is adjective, just one adjective, and sausages is noun. So let's start from like chocolate covered sausages. So sausages is a head, and then we have n bar, and in the adjective we have adj bar, and nothing modify our adjective, so we have adjp, and this adjp phrase modify n bar to have n bar again before we have np, and in this np it is matched with the v love to be v bar, and then we have vp. Don't forget we still have to have v bar here. Only the determiner we can like just attach to here. Okay, but yeah, anyway, in this case verb phrase cannot be attached by the determiner anyway, so D or determiner is going to appear in the noun phrase only. Let's have a look at more complicated verb phrase like threw meatballs at the wall with a spoon on Tuesday. Okay, so through meatball will be our complement. And okay, meatball will be our complement. At the wall, okay, at the wall will be the first adjunct, and with a spoon with a spoon will be our second adjunct. And on Tuesday is the third adjunct. So yeah, here we have 3 adjuncts together. So let's get started. So yeah, start by write this one. Write the word through meatballs at the wall with a spoon on Tuesday. Okay, let's start by our complement, okay, and our hate. So our complement meat, we have it is the n, and then we have n bar, and then nothing modify meatball, so we can have np. So this np it attached with the verb through to be the v bar. So we're going to stop at that. We're going to analyze our first adjunct at the wall. So the wall is the n, and then we have n bar, and this n bar is attached with the determiner to be the noun phrase, and this noun phrase is attached with p to be p bar, and above p bar we have pp, prepositional phrase, and this pp attached with the verb bar through meatball. So we have through meatballs at the wall to be another verb bar, v bar, and in this v bar, so we come to analyze with a spoon. So with a spoon is noun, and then we have n bar and spoon. We don't have anything, so d here attached with spoon to be np, and in this np once again it attached with the p with to be p bar, and in this p bar we have pp, and this pp attached with v bar to be another v bar through meatballs at the wall with a spoon on Tuesday. So Tuesday is n, and we have n bar, and then np, and we have p on, so it attached together, okay, to be the p bar, and this p bar we have pp, and the last pp on Tuesday is attached with this v bar to be another v bar before it turned to be verb phrase. Okay, that's it. Okay, next is often eat spinach ice cream in front of me. So we're going to set this to be analyzed in our class. Okay, and next we move to adjective phrase or adverb phrase, bar, adjp or advp bar. So let's start by very fearful of the repercussions. So we have the hate, fearful, and of the repercussions is our complement. And very is the adjunct, so it will be attached later once we gather fearful of the repercussions already. So we have very fearful of the repercussions. So repercussions is the noun. So we have n bar and determiner the attached with this n bar to be np, and once we have this np, we attach np with the p of to be p bar, and this p bar we have pp. So this pp will attach with our adjective fearful to be adjp bar. So not p yet, it's just adj bar. Yeah, so in this adj bar it will attach with our adjunct. So our adjunct is the adv, so we have adv bar and nothing modify vary, so it's gonna be advp. So this advp adverb phrase is attached with adj bar to be adj bar, the second one, the bigger adj bar, and this adj bar we are going to have a djp. Okay, that's it. And okay, or very quietly with this the advp. So very quietly. Okay, in this very quietly, quietly we don't have end here. Okay, quietly, very quietly. Quietly is adverb, so quietly is our hate, right? We have very, which is adjunct to modify us. So very quietly is adverb, and then we have adv bar. And before we turn it into advp, we have to analyze our adjunct adv very, adv bar, and advp, since nothing modify very. Okay, so advp here attached with adv bar to be adv bar first, and before we have advp, the whole things. Okay, and let's move to the prepositional phrase bar, pp bar. So pp bar, for example, strained to bait. So we have our hate like two here. So bait is the complement, and strain is adjunct, so it's gonna be attached the last one. So strain to bait. So our complement in bar and nothing modify bait, so it is np. So p2 preposition is p, and attached with np to be the p bar, and in this p bar it's gonna attach with our adjunct strained. So strain is adverb, and then we have adverb bar, adv bar, and then nothing modify strain, right? We have advp to end it, and it modify it attached with p bar to be the bigger p bar, and then we attach everything, so we have pp at the end. So we're going to save right at the top to analyze in our class. And let's move to the bigger construction, like the clause or the sentence. So in the sentence, in this, normally we are going to end our sentence with s, right? But in this case, we are going to, in X bar theory, we go into, if it is a sentence, we're going to end it with TP, which stands for 10 phrases. So in the X bar theory, actually we can analyze the tense as well. However, like the 10, when we analyze the 10 is quite difficult, so we're going to stop just for like being able to analyze the specifier, the adjunct, and the complement. Okay, so let's get started by this sentence. The ugly man from Brazil found books of poems in the puddle. Okay, let's get started. The ugly man from Brazil found book of poems in the puddle. Okay, so first of all, you analyze the part of speech first. So the is determiner, ugly, adjective, man is noun, form is preposition, Brazil is noun, found is verb, book is noun, of is p, poem is noun, in is p, the is determiner, and puddle is noun. So next we analyze the complement, the adjunct, and the specifier. Okay, so we have the noun phrase, the ugly man from Brazil, and we have our verb phrase, found books of poem in the puddle. So the ugly man from Brazil, definitely the head is man, and we have from Brazil as the complementizer. So from Brazil, modify man. Okay. Oh, sorry. From Brazil, modify man as the adjunct. And ugly is also adjunct. the reason that from Brazil is the adjunct from man, it is because like we don't have any prepositional like at the second prepositional. So from Brazil, it's just like the first prepositional phrase, and it is just the adjunct that add more meaning to the man. Okay, so it can be any man. And there is the specifier. However, in the found books of poem in the puddle, definitely we have the head found. And okay, the head is a verb, book. Okay, and book of poems in the puddle. So it is the noun phrase here. And in this noun phrase, we have the head books here. So of poems is the complement of the book. And in the puddle is the adjunct. So yeah, as you can see, of poem will modify books first. So what are we going to do is that we're going to start from the adjective phrase. Since normally nothing modify adjective phrase, maybe it can be like adverb, but in this case we don't have adverb to modify our adjective phrase, so we're going to start from adj to be adjp. Sorry, I quite skip adj, and then we have adj bar, and then adjp. You can have a look at more beautiful tree diagram in the book. Okay, and then from the adjective phrase, we can have a look at the noun phrase. So we have the puddle, n to be n bar, and np, and this np can attach with the, and we have poems. So poem can be n bar, and then np, this np. Okay, before we attach with the poems, and we find another n bar like in Brazil. Okay, so we have n bar and np. Okay, we left man first. Okay, so in the puddle here. Okay, we have noun phrase in the puddle here. We have noun phrase in the puddle, right? So p in attached with np here to be p bar, and nothing modified in the puddle anymore, so we have pp. And also of poems, p here we have p bar attached with np, p bar. And of the poem, nothing modified, so we have pp. And from Brazil as well to be p bar and pp. So now we have prepositional phrase, and from this prepositional phrase we have a look at what can be attached with our prepositional phrase. So only thing is books or poems here, so it attached to be n bar, and in this n bar nothing modified book or poem, so it's gonna be noun phrase np. And in this np, okay, in this np, next we have a look at n here. So we have n bar here. Okay, and this n bar attached with man from Brazil, so we have another n bar here. Okay, so next, when we have n bar here, okay, when we have n bar here, man from Brazil, it attached with adjective phrase to be another n bar. So we have ugly man from Brazil, and in this n bar, we attach with the specifier, the last one, okay, to be np. So the specifier will attach at the end. Okay, so now we get our noun phrase, the ugly man from Brazil. And next we kind of like attach our verb together. Okay, so we have the verb found, so we have to found books or poems. Okay, and found it in the puddle first. So in the puddle, oh yeah, we kind of like actually in the puddle, it modifies found in the puddle, not found, not book, not poems in the puddle. So it is in the puddle, like attached to the word found instead. So it's gonna be something like this. So we are going to attach verb here first to be V bar, and in this V bar, it's attached with the noun phrase books of poems. So books of poems, it attached with the prepositional phrase V bar here, and then we have VP, and NP and VP here attached together. Okay, I have to delete this one first. So we attach NP and VP together to be TP. Okay, and this is the end. You can find like the more beautiful sentence in our in our book. So one thing that we can like notice from that is that before you analyze the tree diagram, please make sure that you understand the structure well. Like in this case, I make a mistake. Like I think that in the puddle modify like poems here, but actually when we read the meaning like carefully, in the puddle actually it modify found. We found in the puddle. Okay, so yeah, it's not poem in the puddle, but it actually is found in the puddle. Okay, so in this case, in the puddle, when it is the adjunct of the found, so it attached on, like it is a sister of the V bar, found books of poems. Okay, and for those of you who kind of like wonder that, Jan, what if like we have the same structure in the puddle, but in the puddle modify our noun phrase book of poem instead? So how are we going to do? So if in the puddle modify like book of poems instead, so we are going to attach it like this before we make it into like one noun phrase book of poems in the puddle. Okay, so we are going to left the sentence. Bill felt so very anxious about his test results, and the very foolish professor of linguistics, might be me, from France bought a bag full of potatoes in bright colors from that delightful street vendor in the class. Okay, and see you in the class. This is the end of our video clip. Bye.